Watch a purple-haired Democrat get absolutely furious at Pam Bondi. Folks, she is just frothing at the mouth, does not like Bondi, does not like the DOJ, does not like Trump, none of it. You'll see what I mean in just a second here, but first, do me a big favor, like our video and share it around. And that way, we can keep bringing you all this great, hard-hitting content. As always, Patriots, I'm your host, Darian, and this is the Mainstream.
To stop the flow of dangerous illegal drugs like fentanyl.
As I was attempting to answer your question very calmly, unlike you,
Excuse me, Madam Attorney General. Answer yes or no. Tell me what the numbers are. I don't want to hear all of your filibuster about this. Go ahead, please. Tell us the numbers.
So we are reorganizing. ATF agents want to be out on the street.
Okay,
working
let me answer the
DEA
question
agents.
for you. I'm going to answer it for you. Page, Mr. Chairman, you give me a certain amount of time, and I have a high respect for you, but I don't have to listen, nor do my colleagues have to listen to a filibuster when it's a simple question. But I have an answer to your question. It's page 146 of the department's fiscal year 2026 budget, and the performance summary explicitly says, and let me quote, ATF will eliminate 541 industry operation investigators, reducing ATF's capacity to regulate the firearms and explosive industries by approximately 40% in fiscal year 2026.
Oh no! You mean to tell me that the ATF won't be able to enforce unconstitutional gun regulations as effectively? You mean the same ATF that put out a bench warrant that resulted in a family getting ransacked and raided at Ruby Ridge, where a 14-year-old boy had his life ended along with his mother while she was holding a baby, by the way, and the family dog, all having their lives tragically taken thanks to the ATF? Oh, that ATF is going to be less effective? Oh, guys, this is horrible. Whatever shall we do? This is not the only thing that this crazy purple-haired, lady complained about. There is more, all right? Check out this rant.
A well-functioning, well-funded, well-led Department of Justice is critical to the safety and the security of the American people. And the Department of Justice's employees are dedicated public servants who work diligently and often in dangerous settings to keep criminals off the streets. But unfortunately, the Department of Justice under your leadership has become a tool of political retaliation and the front door for criminals seeking to curry favors and pardons. As I told Director Patel last month, pressure from the White House to investigate the president's opponents or to squash investigations of his allies threaten the department's credibility and the very foundations and the foundation on which this nation stands, and that is the rule of law. The Attorney General must shield the rule of law from political pressure, not act as an instrument for implementing the president's political hit list. Attorney General Bondi, the Department of Justice is not the president's personal law firm. Loyalty or disloyalty toward the president or even the president's agenda is not a valid measure of the performance of your employees nor of the appropriateness of a particular criminal investigation.
I don't even want to say it because it's such an obvious and stupid point that I can't believe we're talking about it. To recap, the purple-haired lady over here complained about the DOJ being a tool of political retaliation. She said that essentially the president cannot be using it to go after his opponents, and that the DOJ is becoming the president's political hit list. Is there even an ounce of self-awareness from the Democrats on this? Do I even need to say it? Biden, Garland, DOJ, prosecuting Trump, sentencing him, and trying to get him years and years in prison? Really?
President Trump is more focused on revenge, retaliation, and retribution, rather than lowering high price for everyday essentials. And the American people are bearing those costs. The American people expected President Trump to address the high cost of living, But the president is not laser focused on the cost of living crisis. He is actually making it worse. Instead, he put billionaires like Elon Musk in charge of our government. And they are attacking civil servants who are not loyal to him, but to the Constitution and to the rule of law. And they are stealing programs, the funding for the programs that keep America's communities safe. This administration is deliberately undermining agencies that protect the American people. Over $4.5 billion in the Department of Justice grant, those funds, including COPS grants, the Office of Violence Against Women grants, that's been unlawfully frozen, stolen from the communities that are counting on this funding to improve their own law enforcement capabilities. This funding supports reentry initiatives, violence prevention. It helps prevent hate crimes, provides services for crime victims, and supports underserved communities. Stealing this funding makes the American people less safe, more likely to become victims of crime. Freezing this money is an illegal impoundment. There is no lawful authority to unilaterally impound, or in my words, steals. You can continue to say there is inherent authority. You can say it over and over and over again, but it is not true.
Fun fact, included in the organizations that are impacted by this DOJ money freeze that is being complained about to Pam Bondi are a San Francisco group that is focused on fighting hate crimes against, Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders, a very anti-Second Amendment organization based in New York, and another hate crime group, except instead of San Francisco, it's on the other coast in Florida. To that I say, good riddance. Hate crime is a made-up term, all right? That is anti-First Amendment. There is no such thing as a hate crime, all right? You either committed a crime or you didn't, all right? If you attack somebody, physically, that's an assault. Doesn't matter what they look like or what you look like. That is totally irrelevant. A crime is a crime.
And we are going to correct it over and over and over again. And how many times can the courts and the Government Accountability Office tell you so? Your department is responsible for upholding the law. You must unfreeze grant money appropriated by the Congress or be in violation of the law. Moving to the next fiscal year, I'm eager to learn about how the Department of Justice will continue to fulfill its mission with a proposed budget that significantly cuts our nation's law enforcement agencies, key offices, and grant programs. The president's proposed budget would impair and defund the core law enforcement agencies that keep our communities safe. In essence, you are defunding law enforcement. It slashes funding for the FBI, the Drug Enforcement Administration, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, limiting federal efforts to help our state and our local enforcement combat gun violence, drug trafficking, and organized crime. The budget also targets DOJ's foundational legal divisions, cutting funding for civil rights enforcement, environmental protection, and even, yes, national security. It takes an axe to grant programs and other programs that support domestic violence survivors and local police departments. It dismantles DOJ's tax division, which will only make it easier for prominent tax cheats to avoid prosecution.
Oh no! Those 80,000 plus agents hired by the ADS under the Biden administration are going to have more trouble prosecuting and persecuting the average American when it comes to their taxes? Oh, boo-hoo, this is so horrible. Pam Bondi, stop your treachery. Jokes aside, guys, that wraps it up. This purple-haired lady goes on a rant for a very long time. It is quite endless. So we're going to cut it right there, but we really appreciate you tuning in. And as always, make sure you comment below. Let us know what you like about the clip, what kind of stuff you want to see in the future, and hit that subscribe button. And that way, we will see you again soon. God bless.